Hello, I'm Dana Cowley and welcome to Charter Local Edition Northwest. Today my guest is Tim Arntzen. He's the Executive Director with the Port of Kennewick. And Tim, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Today we're going to talk about Spaulding Park. You purchased it about maybe 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
And you've taken it from just basically a little bit of nothing and built it into a nice area for businesses to come.
Well, thank you. The port's, I guess the first commitment we made was to work with the City of Richland to get the infrastructure in. So the port put in the typical infrastructure, the curbs, gutters, sidewalk, paved the streets, put in the sewer, the water systems, the electrical, and got the property basically shovel ready. And then it was where the businesses could come in, purchase their 2 or 3 acres, whatever they needed, and build on their own. But the infrastructure was there, ready to go. The other thing that was done is we worked within the zoning with the City of Richland, and then we came up with some covenants that we put on the property that created kind of a higher set of standards that would require the businesses to develop too. After you got the first or second business in, it was self-policing because they would go and make sure that their neighbors were going to live up to the standards that everybody bought into, and it's worked out really well.
Oh, it's just like Christmas decorations, you know, in your neighborhood.
Exactly, yes.
There's a lot of peer pressure.
Yes, there is.
Now, from when you took it from a piece of dirt to where it is now, which businesses are there? What have you brought in so far?
Well, one of the most interesting businesses is the Eden Medical Center. That's a larger building that you see driving on 240. And that will be a place where they have physicians in there. I believe one of the aspects that they're going to offer is training for physician assistants. Oh, and as you go to the doctors nowadays, you see a younger doctor in there, and it's a physician assistant. It allows the medical industry to really expand its coverage. And that is some of the neat stuff that's happening in Spaulding. And the best thing is the government kind of sets the table and then gets out of the way and lets the private sector do it. And this is the innovation of the private sector coming into the Spaulding Business Park. And that's neat to see.
And the port invested about $2.5 million to put this together, and then how do you recuperate that money?
Well, we're getting that money back through the land purchases, and I understand now that we have reached the break-even point. We're actually making a little bit of money off of it. So if you're
Always nice.
Yes, if you're just looking at the balance sheet, we're making some money off of it. But the big benefit is that there's over $30 million of private sector investment on the tax rolls. So it's taxable to the city, to the school districts, to all of these things that we need to support. The other thing is that there's over 650 jobs created in that area right now. And when you get to final build out, you're probably going to have 800 or 900 good paying jobs right there. And remember, that area was a tired neighborhood before that investment went in there. And the other thing is you're getting a spillover effect. Other businesses outside of the park are upgrading and building and kind of getting along, like you say with the Christmas lights scenario. They're decorating their properties, so to speak.
Yes, and I think the government going in and kind of setting up the infrastructure and setting the standards creates a positive atmosphere, as opposed to if a business has done something and then government comes in afterwards and you're in trouble for doing something wrong. Say if you have a problem with water standards or you know, a federal issue, that's much healthier approach to take. Right.
You don't want to have to get into that role of the regulatory arm. Back up, do it at the front end, economic development, which is what the ports typically do in this state. Working with the City of Richland, we laid the table early on, and then it was so easy to be on that creative phase rather than the regulatory phase at the wrong side of it.
Yes, I'm sure you didn't get into the port business to become the economic police.
That's right. That's right.
Tim, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us. Tim Arntzen, the Executive Director for the Port of Kennewick. I'm Dana Cowley, and you're watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.